Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Tuesday, May 19th, 2009. One of the things I've heard people who just come to Smalltalk complain about is the lack of some of the common constructs they're familiar with from other languages, for instance, a case statement. Now, the reality is in Smalltalk, you typically don't need a case statement because you can use messaging. You can implement the same message across multiple objects and use polymorphism to solve your problem. But that's kind of a glib answer, and if people really want a case statement, it turns out it's easy enough to build one. For instance, I just built a few minutes ago a class called case, and I can create a new instance and send it messages like case1 do some block, 2 do some block, and so on. And it automatically assigns a default value, so I don't need to, although I can add a default block by doing case default do, and it'll then do something else. So here, if I execute this, sending it 10, you know it says no action defined for 10. Whereas if I go ahead and hand it 1 and do that, you'll see that instead it dumps out this 1 because it executed this block here. So that's a pretty simple thing to do, and let me show you how easy it was to implement. Go ahead and bring up a browser, and we'll go in here and find our package, which I called case statement, and I have one class called case, and over here on the class side I have this case do, which just does a self-new case do, and default, which also does new default. And then over on the instance side, I have my initialize method, which all it does is create a dictionary and create a default block, which takes one argument. The argument is the thing passed in as the condition, so that if you wanted to use that in your block, you have it. So here for the default block, I just drop out no action defined for and drop that to transcript. Now the API for this is pretty simple. Case do, so dictionary at condition, put your do block. Default, dictionary at default, put do block. And execute. Get the block by doing a dictionary at the condition if absent. Get the default one, which in my initialize I set up, and then block value colon condition. And then I just return whatever that block executes. And that's really all there is to it. So it turns out that if you wanted to have a case statement in Smalltalk, it's easy enough to build one. And this is one of the cool things about Smalltalk is if you don't have a construct in the language, you can add it. And the nice thing about it is once you've added it, it lives at the same level of abstraction as everything else that's already in the system. And that's really kind of the cool thing about Smalltalk. In any case, that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.